All right, so good afternoon to you out there, and thank you for joining me at this time on this live broadcast. My aim today is to talk about purpose. A lot of us live our lives on daily basis, not knowing the reasons for which we were created. Now, I'm a firm believer in the creation story, and I truly believe that God is the creator of everything that we see around. Now, for some that is debatable, but I would like to hear your views on that. My view is based on the fact that nothing just happened. All right? For every beautiful building you see out there, for every road you see, for every development you see, they had to be planned and planned pretty well, and then built. So whatever we see today is a function of someone's mentality, someone's mindset, someone's idea, someone's concept. And if that be the case with humans, how then do you think that we humans found our way here on earth? How do you think we found our way here on earth? So that's the bottom line for the belief that I have. Well, today I'm going to be talking about purpose, and I know that each and every one of us has been created for a purpose. There is a reason for which you were born into this life. There is a reason for which you came to be as far as this life is concerned. All right? And that's what I'll be talking about within the next 45 minutes, 1 hour, thereabout. Now, let me share perhaps two stories to give us an illustration about how important purpose is, how important purpose is. And I hope that these two stories, two life stories, will help elucidate the points I'll be raising as this broadcast unfolds. A lot of us know of the awards that are given to peacemakers, are given to people who have inventors, they are given to literary gurus, and so on and so forth. But perhaps we have never taken time to find out why that award was started. Okay, we may never have taken time to find out why that was started. But we can say this level of knowledge that that award was started because someone discovered his purpose. Someone discovered his purpose. How did he discover his purpose? He discovered his purpose when having created a destructive element, the dynamite. He had boasted about and rejoiced in the fact that he had created the dynamite. And the dynamite was used for wars, to destroy people, to destroy nations, to destroy towns and cities. Some people even went as far as using it to fish, okay? Throw it in the waters, it blows up the water, fishes die, they come up, and people collect them and use them for food and so on and so forth. Mountains were being brought down by the dynamite, and he was happy, he was excited by the fact that he had that appeal, or he had made that invention. Now, as time went on, his brother died, and as it were, newspapers reported the death of his brother, but had mistaken it for him. Okay? There was a misconception that he was the one who had died. And so the newspaper pages or headlines had it that this man had died and that he had become, or at least the destroyer of humanity has gone to rest. That's how it was described. The destroyer of humanity has gone to rest. Unfortunately, that wasn't a good title. That wasn't a good name for him. And so what did he do? Immediately, he decided he would change the story. He would think deep, okay? Excuse me. And in thinking deep, he came up with what we now know as the Nobel Prize, okay? As a Nobel Prize. So Mr. Nobel had been a destroyer of humanity at one point, but he quickly discovered that even though he had gained fame or notoriety by that invention was destructive. That invention was didn't promote humanity. Now, that's how terrible it turned out to be for him. Now, let me say this, that every good purpose or every purpose for every human is to elevate and enhance humanity, never to destroy humanity. Okay? Every purpose is aimed at enhancing, improving, and elevating humanity, not destroying humanity. So when Nobel identified that his invention was destructive and therefore knew that this couldn't be the reason for which he was made to live, he immediately had a rethink and came up with the Nobel Prize. Now, physicists, chemists, literally experts, peacemakers, men, women, children, adults have all gotten this award. In fact, the award has become the standard for excellence on the earth. Okay, in this world, the award has become the standard for excellence. Now, that came to be because someone found his purpose for living. If you do not find your purpose for living, your life becomes unpleasant. You may make lots of money, you may have a lot of friends, you may travel around the globe, you may buy all that you want to buy, but a life of purposelessness, a life without purpose is an empty life, it's a void life. No wonder multi-billionaires are known to have committed suicide. In quote, successful men and women have been known to destroy their lives, all because they do not have purpose. So your first advantage, the first benefit of knowing your purpose is that you live at peace and you are comfortable with who you are. It's not about getting wealth. It's not about being very rich. It is about being yourself and being comfortable and at ease with who you are. That's what one benefit for knowing your purpose. The second benefit for those who know their purpose is that they are focused. They are focused. If you concentrate on your purpose, you do not get easily distracted. There are so many good things out there, but they may not be beneficial to you. They may not be the best of what you are looking for. And so you may be distracted from time to time by these things. Okay? You may be distracted from time to time by several things. But until and unless you know your purpose, you will fall to those distractions. You will fall to those temptations. You will fall to those things that are attracting you that have no benefit to your life. People who know their purposes are focused people. They do not easily get distracted by the things that others do. They just remain focused. They remain focused by the things that they find themselves doing. So that's one benefit of remaining, of knowing your purpose and identifying the reason for which you were created. Okay? The other thing is that people who know their purposes, people who identify with their purposes, are people who live passionately. They live passionately. In other words, because they know the reason for which they are living, they know the purpose for which they were born on earth, they identify the one goal that they should pour their energy towards, they become extremely passionate about the things that they pursue. They are so passionate that all other things do not attract their attention. Any day, any time, Cristiano Ronaldo would want to play football. He makes lots of money from it. But his bottom line, his focus, his target is to play football and to create records. The same thing with his counterpart, Lionel Messi. Those boys love football. They so love football that with the global lockdown, they have found ways to train even in their houses because they have passion in this. They are so passionate that in spite of all the awards and accolades that have come to them, yet they train on a daily basis as if they were just starting. As if they were just starting. People who know their purposes live with a passion. They live a passionate life. They pour their all in what they do. And of course, as Usain Bolt, he gave it his all when he was running. Carl Lewis gave it his all when he was running. Martin Luther King Jr. gave it his all. In fact, Martin Luther King Jr. had letters written to him to say, step down on your fight, step down on your struggle with the white supremacists. Do this, do that. But he was so passionate that even in prison cells, he was pursuing the goal, the purpose for which he lived. Passion. People who have a purpose pursue a passion. They are passionate about life. Nothing is able to distract them from the kind of life that they want to live. What next can we say about people with a purpose? Okay? One thing is so obvious. If you have a purpose, you have clarity. Clarity. Like I said earlier on, you may be distracted. by several things, by several people. But because you know the reason for which you have been created, because you know the goal that you have set before you, you are clear about where your road should be. When you arrive at a T junction, you are never confused because you know what side of the divide you should take. When you are presented with supposed opportunities, because you know your purpose and you are clear about the things that you want to pursue in life, you know when to accept and when to reject supposed opportunities. In fact, not everything that presents itself comes to you as an opportunity. Okay? You are so passionate about this, you know. You are so clear about life, you know what presents an opportunity and what isn't an opportunity. Because you have a purpose. So people with purpose have clarity. Clarity. They are not fooled around. Okay? Such people know when to sleep and when to rise up. They do not mix it up. They know whether to party or not to party. Okay? They are not distracted. Everything about them is so clear that when people come to them, okay? When people come to them, they already know what they will be saying and what they should not be saying. They are clear. One other thing is that people with purpose, okay? People with purpose beyond being clear also feel or always feel gratified. Always. They feel gratified. Now, gratification comes in different forms. One thing is sure, that if you live for your purpose, okay, and you passionately, with clarity, pursue your purpose, you will live a wealthy life. And of course, wealth in this sense does not necessarily amount to billions of dollars in your bank account. No, not necessarily. But you can be sure that everything you need will be placed at your disposal, especially if it is aimed at helping you fulfill your goals. If it is aimed at helping you accomplish the reason, the purpose for which you live. One other way of gratification is that you are so self-satisfied that you do not compare yourself with other people. No. You are so contented with yourself. Your peace is in abundance. Your joy knows no bounds because you are a gratification to yourself. When you go to sleep, you sleep peacefully because you know that you owe no man anything. And because you know that you are fulfilling your part, you are doing your business, you are doing your part as far as this earth is concerned. So, people with purpose not only live with clarity, not only live with a passion, not only are satisfied with themselves, but they are gratified by everything around them. In fact, where they live and how they live is based on the function of knowing their purpose. One other benefit or advantage of knowing your purpose is that you live a valued life. A valued life. Valued life. And by that, I simply mean that you value your life, you value the life of others, especially others who are fulfilling their mandate. You are not in competition with anyone except yourself. Your aim and goal every time is to beat yourself. You do not compare yourself with others. Your life and your time is so precious and valuable to you that you even know the things you should engage in and the things that you should not engage in. Because you've known your purpose and you're living by your purpose, you even know people that should be your friends and those who should not be your friends. You value friendship. You value relationship. You value family. You value staff. And in turn, your life is valued by others around you. That's what it means to live a life of value or to live a life of purpose. Okay? So people who live a life of purpose live value-based life. Value-based life. One other advantage is that people who live a life of purpose live by integrity. They have integrity. They have integrity. What does it mean to have integrity? If you go to the root of this word or the origin of this word, it means oneness, wholeness, totality. That's what the root word of this or the origin of this word is. So, people with purpose live a life of integrity. When they say yes, they mean yes. When they say no, they mean no. They do not jump from one thing to another. No, they are so focused, they maintain a single lane. Because they live by purpose, they do not want to fall foul of the law. Never. Except, of course, laws that are oppressive to humanity. People of purpose are the same, whether by day or by night. Their language doesn't change because of the crowd that they find themselves in. They are blunt, they are forthright. In the midst of it, they are patient, they are kind. Those are people who live a life of purpose. And of course, because they live the life of purpose and they live by integrity, they become easily trusted. The truth is that in the absence of integrity, trust is lacking. In the absence of integrity, trust is lacking. People trust you because you live a life of integrity. People trust you because if they hand over a goal, a responsibility to you, they are certain that that responsibility will be fulfilled. They are certain that that goal will be achieved if you accept to do the goal. They trust that if you say, no, I won't do this, you mean no, you won't do it for Mr. A, B, C, D, and Z. And for that reason, people love to rally around you. To be a person of influence, you have got to be a person of purpose. You have got to know the reason for which you live. So, people of purpose encourage trust. They get trusted by people around them. Okay? And for that reason also, there's an element of grace that flows in their lives. An element of grace that flows in their lives. You find that people with purpose nearly or almost nearly do things regarding their purposes with ease. With ease. They do not struggle, they do not battle, they do not fight. They do things with ease. Those are people with purpose. They are not in a struggle. All right? So there's a level of grace that is found over their lives. There's a level of grace that flows over their lives. No wonder when you see Michael Jordan playing basketball, you marvel at some of his moves. Some of his moves are unthinkable. They are nearly undoable, except for the fact that he does them. When a man like Martin Luther King takes up his fight against an entire system, you find the level of grace that flows over his life. He's not in a struggle to impress anybody. It just flows. He made a speech many years ago, and up till date, people make reference to that speech. Why? Because of the level of grace that was found in that speech. The I Have a Dream speech. This is well over 40 years after he died, yet people make reference to that speech. Why? Because there was a level of grace over his life. He did things with ease. And of course, you can ask the late Nelson Mandela, who spent 26 years of his life in prison and was able to come out and forgive those who imprisoned him. Man, that's some level of grace. That's some level of grace. And so, people with a purpose live by some level of grace. Grace is increased over their lives. Okay? Their lives are run nearly with the greatest of ease. Okay? People with purpose live a life that flows with ease. Okay? So, again, let's look at the Martin Luther King Jr. life, or his life. He had a family, he had a church, he had a civil rights group, all of which he had to lead. Now, none of these three clashed at any point in time. None. Because he was living in line with his purpose. None of these aspects of his life was in conflict with one another. His life simply flowed. When he was with his family, he gave them his 100%. When he was in his church, he gave them his 100%. When he was with the civil rights organization, He gave them his 100%. Life flowed with ease. In fact, when he was before his oppressor, his focus was 100%. He never thought about the speeches that he would make that will now affect his family or affect his church. No, there was no compromise. There was no compromise. His life was a single flowing life. Single flowing life. With ease. With ease. All right? So those are people with purposes. That's how they live their lives, and that's how life ought to be lived at any point in time. What else do we see with people who live their lives on purpose, or who have identified the purpose for their lives and are living in the way that they should be living? Okay? Now, people with purpose have more fun in life, more fun. You know this is why you're living. Therefore, you live a stressless life. You are able to rest when you should rest. You are able to enjoy when you should enjoy. You are able to relax when you should relax. You are also able to travel when you should travel. You're also able to have a holiday when you should be having a holiday. You are able to play with your family. You are able to play with friends at the appropriate time, by the appropriate measure, by the appropriate location. There are people who work from January to December of every year without a rest. They are either pursuing something or something is pursuing them. Why? They've not discovered their purpose. They don't know how to live by purpose, and they cannot have rest, because as long as you do not know your purpose, as long as you do not identify your purpose, so long will you continue to live life without ease. Okay? So long will you continue to live life without ease. Now, these are some of the advantages or benefits for knowing your purpose. And I dare you out there, I challenge you to identify your purpose and to live by this purpose. The next question will be, how then can you live by purpose? How then can you live by purpose? I'll share a few tips as to how you can live, or how then you can identify your purpose. And these are very simple tips, everyday tips, 4 or 5 in number, that should help you come to terms with your purpose. And the first will be to take you back to your childhood. Growing up as a child, beyond the fact that at one point, I was asked at one point, and I said, as to what I wanted to be when I grew old, I said, I want to be a medical doctor. Then almost immediately, that idea changed. The idea changed to becoming a teacher, all right, and a preacher. In fact, when I'd gone to secondary school, I thought at one point that after the secondary school, I should go to a Christian seminary, get myself enrolled, and then get trained to become a preacher. Well, those two dreams, or those two purposes coupled in one, pursued me up to the point where I am right now. So right now, consciously or unconsciously, I find myself teaching and I find myself preaching. I am eager and excited to teach. I am eager and excited to teach wherever I find myself. When I go to a gathering and there seems to be a loss as to what should be done, the first thing that comes to my mind is, should I get up and do some teaching? Should I get up and do some teaching? Now, that dream was more or less given birth to when I was a much, much younger person. At the age of about 6, 7, 10 at the most, was when that idea came to my mind, and it never left me till date. Never. I did not go to any training or teaching institution. I did not go to any preaching institution. Well, eventually I did a course to enhance and increase my teaching ability and preaching ability. But beyond that, I did not go anywhere. I just went back to that childhood dream that had been in the inside of me. So your first task, your first assignment to help you identify your purpose is to go back to your childhood. What were those things that you used to dream or think of before the world corrupted your mind? In this part of the globe where I am, parents pride themselves when they have lawyers, they have doctors, they have engineers, they have nurses in their homes and houses. Okay? But I've come to discover that a lot of us simply went to schools to do things that our parents desired of us. And thereafter, we didn't like the reason for which we went to school. There are musicians all across Nigeria who were either lawyers or who went to study law, who went to study medicine, who have master's degree in various fields, but have not practiced in those fields where they were trained. They simply went back to what I would call their first love. They went back to music. There are sportsmen and women out there who have several qualifications, but because those qualifications are not the purpose for which they were created, they simply went back to the purpose for which they were created, and they found satisfaction in what they do. They found satisfaction in what they do. So go back to your childhood dream. That thing that you used to think of, that thing that when you played with or played with your mate, all right? When you played with your mate, they called you a particular name, they called you a particular profession, and you easily, almost immediately, will constantly align yourself with that thing. Go back to that childhood dream, and you will discover that therein lies the purpose for which, okay? Therein lies the purpose for which you were created. And please, if you do discover the reason, the purpose for which you were created, go back to it, because your satisfaction in life depends on that. You've seen great actors make millions of dollars and yet killed themselves, either from overdose of drugs or they hanged themselves to commit suicide. Why? Because they never found satisfaction in what they had ended up doing. Now, you must strive to find satisfaction in what you do. Okay? You must strive to find satisfaction in what you do. That's the way to go about life. Now, if you go back to your childhood dreams and you're able to figure out things, one other way that you may do that is to list the things you do with relative ease. Write out, sit down right now, pick a piece of paper Okay? And write out everything that you do with relative ease. Everything that you do with will help you identify the reason for which you were created. And there are several things that you discover that you do not need to burn your energy, much of your energy to do those things. You just discover that everything flows with a level of ease. Everything flows with a level of ease. Go back to those things. I encourage you. List them out. They may be 100, they may be 10. Okay? Pick out the top three. The top three. And pursue those top three goals. Or pursue those top three purposes and see what will become of your life. I encourage you, do not relax on this. One other way to know the purpose for which you were created is to look back at your childhood or your history, rather. So look back at your history. You have come a long way, perhaps. Okay? You have traveled some path in life. Okay? There are things you have encountered. There are issues that have come up in your life. Some have given you more strength, some have given you more energy. Go back to your history and discover those things. Find out from your history those things that attracted you the most. Find out from your history those things that cost you more pain than others, things that you wish were different. Things that you wish if you had the opportunity to change them, you would have changed them. Perhaps in those things lies the reason for which you were created. You have seen a lot of parents come up with non-governmental organizations after their children were killed. Those things are arising from their history. It's a nasty past, it's a nasty history, but they've risen beyond and above that tragedy and have created things that have become better for humanity. So go back to your history. The fourth will be to ask friends and family members around you. People watch you, people observe you, people know you, people identify you. They know your pain, they know your joy. They are able to say a few things about your life. Go back, ask them, find out from them, what are the things that you think I do best? What are the things that attract me? What are the things I do with ease? What are the things that do not require much energy and I achieve